All right. Well, welcome back to Erick Hunting from Parts Unknown with my tag team partner, Anissa.
Hello.
Uh, Welcome back to a breakdown review. It's been about a minute and a half since we've done one of these.
It's been a busy summer.
Been a while since we've been back to a show. It felt good to get back to a show. And what a show to get back to.
Man, yeah.
It was...
I didn't wrestle and I'm exhausted.
yeah, right. It was nonstop action from before the bell to the end.
PvP always puts on a good show.
And this event was PvP Summer of Sin, August 19th, 2023. And man,
It's the buffer between birthdays.
it's the buffer between birthdays. The 18th being Anissa's birthday, and the 20th being Hammer Tunis's birthday.
Happy birthday.
We're gonna jump right into this. Man, what a lot of action we had. We had our announcer, of course, Cameron Coe.
That he is always professional,
Always.
always has a smile on his face,
Yes.
even when
Yeah.
some people in the crowd are just
Giving him the business.
he's a sweetheart. He always comes and says hello, shakes my hand.
Yep.
Talks to me. He's professional and he's a definite asset to PvP.
Yeah, he does a great job. He definitely picked up where Matthew James left off as ring announcer.
Yes.
We had two refs on the card. We had ref Miggy Stripes.
Yay.
One of our favorites. A little salty. But anyway, and then we had ref Vinny, who's always does his job to the best of his abilities.
He's a good ref. And he takes a lot of guff from a lot of people.
Does. His counts aren't fast. They're not slow. They're right down the middle. He does the best that he can do.
And he does it well.
And conspicuous by his absence, there was no Matthew James as general manager of PvP. He
Hurry up and come back. Everything's going to hell in a handbasket.
when the inmates are running the asylum, everything goes to hell. And boy, did it. We started out. We had Hammer Tunis came out, spouting his mouth off. As my notes say, I'm not the note taker. Just saying that. It said he started his bullshit. I don't know.
I'm just telling the truth.
He the crowd came out as soon as Hammer came out. Everybody wanted Jason Tunis to come out. Everybody wants Jason to
Run, Jason, free yourself.
wants him to walk the straight and narrow. And
You deserve better.
apparently, it was not just Anissa and I. We had our daughters. We had Summer with Kaylee with us. Whoa. She hadn't been to a show in forever. We had Kaylee with us, my youngest, and then we had Olivia and
My number two.
number two, who are both wrestling fans and have enjoyed PvP.
And I love going with them.
And they had a lot of fun as well. But apparently, Olivia was indifferent to whether Jason came out or not. She didn't give.
Well, I think she was very...
Because she doesn't know who he is either.
She was very indifferent to also Hammer Tunis.
She didn't know whether to cheer or boo, so she just
Well, it's
said,
been a minute since
yeah.
she's been to a show, so she doesn't know.
And apparently, again, according to my notes, Hammer was gaslighting Jason. I didn't see him lighting any gas. I don't know. But
Hey, I know gaslighting when I see it.
So while Hammer was running his mouth as to, the things he feels he's owed and deserves and yada yada, RJ Rude came out and confronted Hammer and said, well, while we're going to be having, he called Hammer a bully.
He hit the nail right on the head with that.
Certainly did.
Hammer Tunis is a bully.
Yeah, he's bullying his brother.
And he's bullying people in the audience, too.
It's fine. And so they were supposed to have a match for the All Valley Championship anyways, and RJ Rude said, well, if we're going to have this match, let's make it a street fight. And Hammer accepted said challenge, and that would be happening in the main event. And we'll get to that in the main event.
So they bookended the show.
They bookended. They came out, they said their pieces, and we'll get to what happened. What happened at the end.
No, nothing.
Huh?
Reese's Pieces.
Oh, Jesus. So, our first match of the night was a singles match with Bene family member Jay Haru.
Boo.
Who's casted.
Well, and it was also questionable if he was still a member of the family, if he wasn't a member of the family. It was pretty ambiguous.
But after events, he's part of the family. Versus the King of Chaos, Logan Black.
Our favorite.
Yes. It's good to see Logan back again.
A better man, I dare you to find.
Yeah, and this was I wouldn't say it was a one-sided match, but Logan Black kind of owned most of this match. It was mostly on him.
And I loved the crowd's reaction.
Oh my God. As soon as he came out,
everybody blew up. He is so loved. He is beloved at PvP.
He kind of said it in a promo almost a year ago, and I've kind of driven it home. He is Western Mass's adopted son. He belongs to us. He really does, and he's he's one of ours. He
puts up with us.
He puts up with us. But yeah, what a hell of a match, and Logan ended up getting the win. But then the Chris Bene and the Bene family came out.
They were smart. They left Logan alone.
Logan, he was in the crowd, soaking in the adulation of the crowd, and he kind of scooted out the back corner and said, "You know what? I don't need any of this."
Chris Bene's music hit, and he was like, "I don't think so."
And so they came out, and they came out with their new hire, Alex Cypher, from the last show, Putz. And Cypher is going around with a petition to try and get a union for the wrestlers for the betterment of their health and unsafe working environments.
Generally,
whatever.
I am all for unions. I think they're a good idea, but
it's on soapbox.
Because of who is
behind it.
Yeah. Oh, I don't trust it. I mean,
you can't.
You
can't trust anything that comes out of Alex Cypher's mouth.
And I beg Chris Bene to keep an eye on Alex Cypher, because Alex Cypher, at the first whiff of trouble, and you know it's going to come, he is going to backstab him, and it's not going to be good.
So they came out and they were spouting their mouths off on everything that they had going on, trying to get AJ Cruz, and what they ended up. No, that happened later on. So they.
Let's not jump.
Yeah, I'm jumping ahead because so much going on.
Yeah.
But they were trying to get everybody, fired up, and boy did it work. Well, this led into the next match, which was a tag team match.
I'm sorry.
The Midnight Mullets, which was 50 Cal and Love Doug, and that was versus Bene family, Pedro Donez and Antonio Zambrano, the soccer master. Okay.
He was brought by Alex Cypher.
Yeah.
There's also a question mark there.
I don't know. Other than seeing a soccer ball, I don't think he's ever played. It was an interesting tag team match, that's for damn sure. There was a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and there was a lot of pedals thrown by Love Doug. Well, apparently Kaylee grabbed one and she put it in her phone case.
I guess she loves Doug.
Well,
I mean, I don't get it.
but it was a back and forth match. There was a lot going on. But because there was shenanigans on the outside and there was a lot of everything going on, the Benet family comes out with the W. They win over Love Doug and
see. Here's where
cal.
I'm of two minds. I don't much care for who's in the Benet family except for Chris Benet because
it's Chris.
Yes, but their opponents. Oh God! I mean,
they're fun.
For who?
The crowd.
I have flashbacks to the 80s.
All right, we're not doing this again. We're not going on that rant again.
So let's just say it was a hard match for me to be involved with.
But it was a good match, though. It was a great match, and the Benet family comes out with the W.
And bless Louis Semedy. What, he is such a good fella. He does his job, and he does it well, and he doesn't interfere with.
Does his best to stay out of the way.
A soccer ball come right at him, and he didn't touch it. He made sure that he stayed neutral to everything, and just kept going. He just like nothing ever happened, and that to me was the best part of the match.
So, an amendment to our characters involved. We had Louis Semedy, who is our cameraman for the night, who again does his best to stay out of the way and not get involved. He does his best to stay out of the crowd's way so that you don't miss anything. Does his best to do that. It's hard. He's got a job to do.
And let's not forget Dakota.
And can't forget Dakota running the door, who had some help also. I don't know who they were, but she had some help with running the door in the 50-50. But back to the action. We had our next match being a singles match, which was T.J. Crawford, the Silver Sniper, versus Sammy Diaz, top 5, dead or alive.
Oh my God. I loved this match.
That's T.J. Crawford right there. This kid is unfreaking believable. A hell of a wrestler.
I am a fan.
This match was hard hitting. It was top notch action.
It was
athleticism.
so fast paced.
It never slowed down.
No.
It never slowed down. It was crazy, unbelievable.
And you had no idea who was going to take it.
No.
None.
It could have gone either way. 100%. At one point, you're like, oh, this, Sammy's got it. Oh, no, TJ's got it. And it was just back and forth, counter to counter. It was
definitely a contender for match of the night.
100%. It was definitely up there. But what a match. I was tired after that match, just watching it.
I mean, I knew with Sammy Diaz coming in, it was going to be a great match because he is phenomenal.
TJ was, I don't know what you want to call it. It was, they had to fix the match because we were supposed to have somebody come in and it was going to be Sammy Diaz versus ECW legend Super Crazy, but he was otherwise booked somewhere else.
Yeah, things happen.
TJ Crawford was available, I guess, so they booked that match.
I am so glad.
And oh my God, this match, because it was one of those. Yeah, I was cheering for Sammy Diaz, right from the start. Mm-hmm. But we've watched TJ Crawford on Wrestling Open, and
right.
But getting to see him live,
seeing him live makes
the kid didn't stop.
This is one of the reasons why people need to get to shows.
Yeah. It was perpetual motion the whole match. It just never stopped. And some of the hardest kicks and chops I've ever seen or heard. I don't know how they were walking around afterwards. It was
They were well suited because this match from beginning to end was fire.
It was not a clash of styles. It was a meld of styles, and they complemented each other well.
But they use so many different techniques.
Yes, they beat the ever-living hell out of each other, and it was an amazing, amazing nonstop action match. I couldn't say enough about this match, and it by the time it was over, it was a both these guys type of thing. I don't know if we ever got that chant going, but it should have.
Yeah.
Because it just didn't stop. I loved it. I loved
Like I
everything
said,
about it. I was already a fan of T.J. Crawford beforehand, but my fandom grew more because I've seen him a couple of times now, and
now that
Sammy
I've seen
never,
him live,
Sammy Diaz never lets down.
I've never seen him have a bad match.
He's great too, and Sammy Diaz came out with the win on that one. But the real winners in that match was the fans, because there was a clinic.
That was a banger of a match. Yeah.
As soon as that match was announced, I said this match is going to be a banger, and I was 100% right.
People say they start chanting "Fight Forever."
Yeah.
This was it. I thought I could watch these guys.
I don't think we had to chant it though. I thought it was going to go.
See, if they were booked at every show together every time, I would not get sick of it.
Yeah. I would love to see like a series of matches with these guys.
Yes.
Just let them go, like we did with Logan and Scotty Wilde.
A few years back. Yeah. Like that was a great set of matches too.
So again, Sammy Diaz came out with a W on that one. That brought us into our tag team championship match, which was a 2 out of 3 falls match.
I mean, we were already breathless.
Yeah, and it didn't stop. It went right into that match, too. And that was the challengers, the Miracle Generation, Kylon King and Dustin Flash Waller.
Phenomenal, those two.
And versus the champions, the closers, Big Bacon, Brad Hollister.
Ooh.
Versus the Grapple God, Jordan Rowe.
No matter how much I try and dislike him, I can't. I just can't.
And again, this was a 2 out of 3 falls match, which, if you're not aware, it means the team that wins the 2 falls ends up either retaining or winning the championships. Man, was this match... This was just as on fire as the previous match with Crawford and Diaz. This match was non-stop. Up in the...
There was a lot of high flying, but there was also ground
with Miracle Generation, you're in the air more than you're on the mat 90% of the time.
But Jordan Rowe is the same way.
Oh, yeah. These kids are just non-stop. Go to the go. Bacon's the veteran of the 4 that were in there, and he got a little perturbed when Kylon suplexed him. He's like, nobody suplexes Bacon, and then he was immediately suplexed.
I thought that was quite enjoyable myself.
It was, but man, they were going, and I forgot that it was a 2 out of 3, and the first fall happened. I'm like, all right, wait, there's still
half the crowd
1 or 2 to go,
and it was almost cruel
because the Miracle Generation took the first one. I'm like, not new champs, but the Miracle Generation took that first fall, and that was a while into that match. They went a long while before that first fall happened.
And then they were in the crowd.
Oh my! In the crowd, through the crowd, under the crowd. I don't know how many times Kylon King landed on his forehead. I hope that kid gets checked. The second fall went to the closers.
Because they cheat. They cheat. The closers don't know how to win unless they cheat.
So
run,
there's that.
Jordan, run.
Oh Jesus! Here we go. So then we continue on, and for the third fall and final fall, because they were 1-1 with falls, the closers win and retain their tag team championships.
And Olivia lost her ever-loving mind.
There may or not have been some fudging with counts and tags, and listen, there was a lot of going on, the ref,
poor Vinny.
the ref may have lost who was supposed to be or not supposed to be in the ring, but somebody else was paying attention and was not happy that rules were not being followed.
Kaylee and I had to hold Olivia down.
I told her at her very first PvP show, they are very loose with the rules and regulations at a PvP show. She seemed to have forgot. And she was not happy that they were not abiding by said rules.
As an autistic person, she very
Listen,
much...
I get it. I understand. That's why I told her. But after the match, somebody gave Big Bacon a microphone, and he has called out Scotty Wilde and wants a shot at Scotty Wilde's championship, and he wants to reclaim that heavyweight championship. He's held it before, and he wants it again.
No.
So, there you go. Scotty Wilde was not there to retort, but I'm sure,
yeah.
Word will get out, and he will hear it, and if not, or when he does, he will say his piece on it.
And he will retain.
So after that match, we all needed a breather, and we got intermission, which was good because we needed to get some cuppy cakes, and we needed to get some hydration, get ready for the second half.
And also support the wrestlers.
Go around and look at the merch, and pick up some merch, and say our hellos, and...
Aren't we lucky?
Oh, big time. So then we come back from our intermission.
Oh, and the cupcakes were really yummy.
Yeah, they were. It's the best thing to come out of a Cypher house is the cupcakes.
Man, she's a saint.
So we come back to a singles match. Oh my god. With Brett, Ryan, Gosling, BRG, my nemesis. He's a bum. Versus
I have nothing.
Fancy Ryan Clancy, who was accompanied by Marshall McNeil.
I really like
I love Marshall McNeil. At the last show, I told Ryan Clancy, impress me, and he didn't impress me because he was facing Chris Benet, and he didn't have a fighting chance in impressing me. Tonight, I was 100% behind Ryan Clancy because I cannot and will not get behind BRG. He's a bum. He's a bum. He's a bum. He's a bum.
I mean, I'm still waiting. He's still learning. He's still young. But he had my support by default.
Ryan Clancy.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, I tend to lean heel with a lot of things, but not with this fella.
BRG is, he's a terrible human being.
Don't hold back.
I won't. So Mr. Ryan Clancy eventually came away with the win. This was, well...
It was a lot.
There was a lot going on. The BRG, he was pulling a lot of shenanigans and in and out of the ring and getting in people's faces. And it was almost like he was trying to get disqualified. I don't know.
And being really rude.
Rude.
And, not like the good rude, like RJ.
No,
but
rude.
Bad rude.
But, again, Fancy Ryan Clancy, he came away with the win. But, that happening, they being Ryan Clancy and Marshall McNeil, are saying their goodbyes to the crowd, backing themselves out towards the exit. And all of a sudden, apparently the good doctor, Doc Heresy.
Doc McStuffins?
Doc Heresy, he had just recently got off the golf course and had a golf club in hand. And he swung. He swung for the fences. And,
I mean, we're kind of mixing sports.
Well, whatever. He hit a long one down the fairway. And it caught Marshall McNeil and then Ryan Clancy. And like I said on the ride home. A couple of those seem to be some live rounds. I don't know.
Poor Marshall, his fingers.
Marshall's been doing this for far too long. He should not be getting involved like this.
Yeah,
but he didn't have a choice in the matter.
No.
It was...
I think if he had a choice, he would have opted to say, I don't think so.
So there's still more to tell with that story. Apparently, Doc Harrisy is not done with Fancy Ryan Clancy or anybody to do with Marshall McNeil, apparently. I would say the good doctor. He's not very much. I think he's an evil doctor.
Yeah, it's kind of wrong of me to compare him to Doc McStuffins because Doc McStuffins is a good doctor.
Well, somebody in the crowd was chanting Dr. Evil, which I thought was pretty appropriate. So then that brings us to a singles match with Chris Benet, who obviously had Cypher, and the rest of the Benet family with him, and AJ Cruz, who came out with his youngest son, just for entrance purposes, which was always cute to see them. I love those two boys. They're great.
Yeah, they really are.
So then they had some mic time at the beginning of the match, and again the subject matter of the petition come up, and Chris said, "If AJ you can pin me, then I will get rid of Alex Cypher for good. Forever. But if you can beat me, if you can pin me, if I can pin you,
you've got to sign the petition.
Then you have to sign the petition because there was one spot left open on the petition to fill. And if Chris can beat AJ, then AJ has to sign the petition." So AJ agrees to these stipulations,
and the crowd was losing their minds
because we knew
rip it up.
It was going to be.
Don't trust him.
We knew there were going to be shenanigans involved, and
I mean, with Cypher, good Lord. Yeah, I mean,
anybody that trusts him doesn't understand.
He's so smarmy.
So Chris and AJ go to town, and man, was another banger of a match. He was picking AJ up and throwing him around. AJ was kicking for the fences. Oh, there was figure fours. There was clover leaves. There was everything going on.
And I loved that. I love seeing matches. Don't get me wrong. I love the high-flying stuff. I love the ground and pound. But I really love seeing submission moves thrown in with everything else. Because it's not wrestling unless you have things like that. And he almost had him. He almost submitted. And this was a hard match for me. Because,
it was a hard match for both of us.
Because, we love Chris. And we love AJ. We both...
But we also know that we're not supposed to love Chris.
I tend to lean heel anyways. But here's the thing.
Depending on who it is.
Chris has been tainted by the
Cypherness.
Just the absolute slime. It's like a miasma that just comes and taints everything around it. Just so that makes me think. I know. I mean, I was like, okay, well, Chris. I knew most people were going to be rooting for AJ.
Yeah.
So the part of me that loves Chris was like, it doesn't matter. I'm going to root for him because so many other people support AJ.
Yeah.
Somebody has to support Chris. That's my line of thinking. But because of Cypher, I lean
and
a
the
little,
family.
Yeah.
That didn't help any either.
Well, now that they incorporated Jay Haru back in.
Yep.
I mean, oof. But anyways, I mean, I'm sure he's a wonderful person. I'm not trying to tear anybody down. That's not what we do. But he's not my favorite. Neither is Cypher. But the thought of if AJ won, then Chris could get rid of Cypher
for
forever.
good.
That appealed to me. Because he's like a bad penny.
We've been trying to do that for 6 years now, and it hasn't happened yet.
I mean, the first time we saw him, we're like, who's this schmuck? And then, ooh, lo and behold, he worms his way in and he just taints everything he touches. Just, ugh. Somebody's going to learn. Somebody's going to learn. And I hope Matthew James comes back and is like, cool, we'll do a union, but we're not going to let the nonsense.
You're not going to be in charge of it. That's for damn sure.
Because,
But this match, I'm telling you. So again, Chris ended up coming away with it by the narrowest of margins,
and also a little bit of help.
And a lot of help. The family got involved, and
I mean, I suppose they were doing their jobs. They're supposed to help their boss. There you go.
But it's still interference. If you want to get into rules like Olivia, they should have been tossed, but they weren't. And so
Cypher was involved.
Yeah.
Things are going to be fast and loose. We know that.
So that happening, AJ signed that final spot. And sadly, there's photographic evidence of that.
So many people in that room were so hot.
And so many people were hoping he didn't sign his actual name. I hate to tell you, he did.
Because he gave his word. He's a man of his word.
Yep. He did
and even though it didn't turn out to our liking, we have to be proud of him because he
stayed honest.
Yeah. And that's what a true face is supposed to do.
He's a fan favorite, and he did what he was supposed to do. So, Chris came away with the win and the signature of AJ Cruz.
And now
what?
Now we're scared for the future.
Yeah. So that brings us to the main event. For the All Valley Championship trophy. And your challenger, the Hammer Tunis,
Boo.
versus your champion, RJ Rude. The
kid.
Pop punk devil. This kid is just... I've said it every time we've had to talk about him. He's come so far since tag teaming as Insanely Rude. Sadly, they split. That happened. This kid wanted to keep going, and man, has he. And he's
so impressive.
He does. He takes a licking and keeps on ticking. That's for damn sure. He does not stop.
Personality.
Yeah. I mean, he's a front man for his own band, and Always Grounded, great band. Check him out on Spotify. But yeah, this match. I mean, you knew it was going to be. They said it was going to be a street fight, so we knew that. Mm-hmm. And
Hammer Tunis said, "I'm doing this on my own.
Yeah.
Nobody's coming out with me. Jason isn't going to be by my side. Bacon isn't going to be by my side. Jordan Rowe's not going to be by my side. It's just me because I can do this on my own." Ha! He's a big bully.
So, when they were speaking at the beginning of the night, he said to Jason, You're going to come out and you're going to take a chair and you're going to sit and watch this match and learn something. So Jason was out before the start of the match, sitting ringside, well, somewhat ringside, a couple rows back, and near the entrance. And he was just sitting there with his arms crossed, with quite the stink face. He's not happy with his brother, how he's being treated, and yada yada. Then RJ came out. Hammer had come out. He did his whole deal while he was getting in the corner, getting himself straightened up. He may or may not have kicked a cane at a fan.
Because he's a bully.
I don't know who that fan was. I didn't catch his name. but he may have caught a cane in the shin. Anyway, so this match, I mean, it was a street fight. You knew it wasn't. No, there's no rules. There's no rules. Pinfall or nothing, or submission. That's it. That's all the ref is there for. Well, that's all he was there for, because all the bells and whistles came out. There were chairs. There were chair shots. There was a wrapping of the leg around a cane. There was a melee towards the bar. The bar got involved. I think a table got involved.
The crowd got involved because...
The crowd got involved because the wrestlers went into the crowd.
Pause. We have to address this.
Yep.
Because it's bullshit. Yeah, Olivia was heated, but she would, no matter how upset she is with a wrestler, she would never put any body part, hands, feet, anything on them. You are at the show. You be respectful. You keep your feet to yourself. You keep your hands to yourself. It was bullshit. Mm-hmm. And I am not a Hammer Tunis fan. I think everybody's aware of that. But he did not deserve what happened. And he may not even be aware of what happened. But the people who did what they did know what they did, because they saw me saying, stop. Because I was going to use my cane and I was going to use my mama voice. Nobody deserves that. If you go to a show, behave.
Yeah. You don't put your hands, you don't get involved in the match. It's one thing to high five, it's one thing to shake hands or get invited into the action by the performers, the wrestlers. But to take it upon yourself because the bad guy is laying in front of you to kick your feet at him, that's a no-no. You don't do that.
And to jump up and run across the room and make one patron get up so you can be part of the show. Yeah, we all want to see Jason free himself and be his own person. Don't get involved. You're not helping. You're not making things better. I get it. I get emotional too. But no. No,
you don't get involved. That's boiled down. You do not involve yourself. Again, unless it's when it's invited.
Yeah, when it's consensual.
If they make contact with you and say, "Hey, you do this," or hold this guy or whatever. It's indie wrestling. Things are a lot different than if you go to the big shows. But you don't.
If they land in your lap, that is an opportunity to maw at them.
No, you just sit there and take it, and let them get up or whatever. But you don't get physically involved. You just don't. Again, unless you're invited into that action. But to take it upon yourself to kick or punch or chop at somebody, you don't do that. It could have messed up. It could have messed up the flow of the match.
Yeah, exactly.
We all know what it is for what it is, and if you screw up the flow of the match, then it's not fair to anybody.
If you find that you run the risk of trying to interfere because of where you're sitting, you're in the front row.
Then don't sit in the front row.
Don't sit in the front row. There's no need for it. There's no need to get up in the ring while the wrestlers are celebrating or doing anything else.
You don't belong in the ring anyways.
No.
Again, unless invited. We've all had the opportunity or chance because we were invited or paid for said opportunity.
And it's not about us.
No.
They're doing this for us, for our entertainment. Right. And we need to be appreciative of what they're doing, and not people doing this means that a wrestler could say, "I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah, I won't be back."
It's dangerous, or it's not fun because I'm putting myself at risk and nobody's appreciating it. Yeah. And I don't want to see PvP go away because of a bunch of stupid, selfish people.
Yeah,
stop it. But anyways,
but back to the scheduled program. The street fight, like I said, it had everything. They were in the crowd. They were through the crowd, which was fun. It's great. It was
when
exactly...
people acted the way they were supposed to, it was fantastic.
It was exactly what we thought we were going to get. And then...
I had my cane at the ready for RJ, though.
Here we go.
I didn't. I just had it there. I did not get involved.
No. But again, we were just playing along. Some people go too far. So then Hammer was trying to get Jason involved. Jason was on the fence as to whether or not to get involved.
Because Hammer was bullying Jason.
And then all of a sudden, AJ Cruz's son, Davian, was in the ring and took the chair from Hammer, and then Hammer knocked down.
Man, can that
Davian.
kid take a bump?
He landed on his ass like there was no tomorrow.
Kudos to his parents. I mean, that kid knows he's learning well.
So then Jason quickly got in the ring to defend Davian, and then all hell broke loose.
The general arrived.
Because, holy hell, because AJ Cruz come running out, because his son got taken out, and then he went to super kick Hammer. Hammer dropped out of the way, accidentally hit Jason.
Well, I think there may have been kind of...
Well, he may have fallen out of the way, and...
Well, it's Hammer Tunis.
So
safe bet.
Then all of a sudden, I look to my right, and then there's Big Bacon, and here we go.
Lies.
Here we go.
Hammer Tunis didn't win it on his own because he can't. He had to have his little buddy Bacon come in and pull Ref Vinny out because bullshit. It's because, hey, I'm going to do this by myself. Nobody's coming out with me. Except Bacon's going to sneak out here and I'm going to win the match that way. But I did it all by myself.
So, that happened. and then there was a new All Valley champion, and that is Hammer Tunis, which makes him
asterisk
a Triple Crown winner of PvP. He has held the heavyweight championship, the tag team championships, and now the All Valley
but he never seems to do it on his own.
And so after much celebrating in the center of the ring, he was leaving the ring, and when he did, he may or may not have wished somebody a happy birthday. So that was Summer of Sin in a nutshell, and what a hell of a nutshell it was.
Jiminy
Holy hell. It was nonstop action from beginning to end.
I'm on that high that you get after you've been at a show.
I'm so tired, I'm not tired.
But I'm tired. We had to get this out of the way because I knew if we waited, we would have forgotten.
That was the event. That being the event. Match of the night.
Hands down. Sammy Diaz, TJ Crawford. That's okay. Here's the thing. I love RJ Rude. I think he's fantastic. He is amazing. I called it right after we watched it. I said Sammy Diaz, TJ Crawford, match of the night.
Well, this is going to be quick and painless because that's mine as well.
I mean,
the tag match, championship match was...
The tag match,
that was contender,
was really
and I could have done the old, well, I don't want to agree with you, so I'm going to pick a different one. I can't, because when they announced that match, I said, this is going to be a banger. I put it in their social media. Mm-hmm. I said it out loud, And
you told me, yeah.
I said, this is going, because I've seen them both go.
You were excited for me to watch this match.
I was, because I am a fan of both of these guys. And it lived up to my hype. You know, their match lived up to everything I wanted it to be. And they pulled all the stops out. They did not. They held nothing back.
Left me breathless.
Yeah, it was you. But you couldn't take your eyes off of it. You had to watch this match. It was just nonstop action.
I am a huge fan of both those fellas.
Yep.
I really am.
Yep. So I'm pretty sure I know how this is going. But performer of the night.
You know, because I didn't give it to the main event because bullies are boring. I'm going to switch tactics because you know, when RJ Rude comes out, he's going to give it his all, 100%. Doesn't matter if he's the first match, if he's somewhere in the middle, if he's the main event.
Or if he's hurt.
I mean, we saw what he did with
Brian Malonis.
Yeah, he wrestled Hurt and won. And I fully believe if Bacon, boo, hadn't interfered, he still would be the All Valley champion. And for that reason, I don't reward bullies, but I do reward excellence. And I give it to RJ Rude, performer of the night.
My performer of the night is TJ Crawford. He came into a place where he's not very well known by a lot of the fans. The true diehards know who he is. Those who watch a little bit of everything know who he is. Everybody knows who he is now after this match. Everybody in the PvP family got to see him, and they were wow.
See, here's a little caveat that I have. He did so well because he was with Sammy Diaz. How can you not give them joint?
I'm doing it. We've given it to Sammy Diaz before.
Okay.
But he came into kind of uncharted territory.
He was kind of thrust into this. I can see
and
that.
So he went into not being known by a lot of people to being accepted by everybody, to where even though he didn't win, he won us over. I was already a fan, but those who didn't know him, they know who he is now, and there won't be we don't know who you are. We don't know you anymore. I want to see him back in PvP again. We said we'd love to see that match over and over again. I would like to see him against other people. I would like to see him versus RJ Rude.
That would be.
I got a list. I'll give you a list of people I would love to see him against. But I would love to. I'm ready to see him again at PvP, but I'm ready to see him in different places. He's just super, super talented. He's still so young. He's got a lot of career ahead of him.
Personality,
and I wouldn't be surprised if he's somewhere big, sometime soon.
But there's a half a dozen that I could name I think that they should be.
We could do that,
but we're not.
We could spend an hour on that.
we don't want them to go per se,
keep them.
because we're selfish and we really enjoy them.
So, my performer of the night is TJ Crawford, it just. What a match! What a night! What an event! I want to thank Pioneer Valley Professional Wrestling for another amazing event.
Man, if you can get to one of these matches, you have to.
You would understand why we get so excited about them. It's just such a vibe,
And when the crowd is as on fire as they were tonight, it makes it even better.
Yeah, there was no There was not one church match at all. Not one time that they were sitting on. Even when you thought that they might be, they weren't. They were always on. There was a couple of matches in your head on paper. It was like, are we going to lose them? No, we never lost them. They were. The crowd was always there.
I mean, and this was hard because there were so many energetic, sucking you in type matches that you started to feel.
Yeah.
And that's a credit to PvP.
Yeah.
They know how to book things.
They booked a banger of an event. It really was.
And they do it time and time again.
Their next one is September
29th.
19th. Be their Rumble event, which is
always
a good time.
And it can be chaotic.
And there's a lot of fallout from this night. So there's going to be a lot happening. I'm looking forward to that one.
Matthew James come back and straighten things out.
Yeah, and we need our champion back to help straighten some stuff out too. Let's, he's looking for a title match. Give Chris a title match. I'm all about Chris Benet getting a title match.
I think that would be a fun match.
Not for Scotty Wilde.
But I mean, it's not going to be a
ban the family.
Flip flying.
No, it's not going to be flip flop and fly. That's for sure.
But I think that it's going to have good things.
So
pay attention, people.
Yeah, we're trying to do our best to get to some other events, not just Pioneer Valley. It's hard. Schedule needs to line up. There's some stuff on the horizon. I hope you guys have enjoyed what I've been putting out outside of our breakdown and reviews and ringside shots. It's been fun putting them together. I appreciate anybody that has been following along and watching. Keep your eye out for some new stuff. And yeah, I don't know. It just boils down to another great event at Pioneer Valley Pro. And congratulations to Chris Silvestri for stealing my 50-50.
That seems to keep happening.
This guy, I'm telling you, I don't know who he thinks he is. So it's been Erick Hunting and Anissa from Parts Unknown. Thank you very much. We'll see you at the matches.